Now, I mentioned a couple times that this is a groove in E Mixolydian. And, you know, to fully understand the theory, you have to have a little bit of background and some different things. But in a nutshell, if I played an A major scale, but instead of playing those notes from an A to an A, same exact notes, you know, I have an A major scale as an A, a B, a C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then it starts over again with A. Now, if I was to play those same notes, but just kind of rearrange the order to go from an E to an E. So I have an E, an F sharp, a G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, and E. That is an E Mixolydian mode. So exactly the same notes as an A major scale, just in a different order. And the main focus is that E note. Or another way to think about this is if I played an E major scale and I lowered that seventh note in the scale by a half step, okay, from a D sharp down to a D natural. That's sometimes referred to as the flat 7. If I give each one of these notes in the E major scale a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1, and I take that 7, I lower it by a half step, that's sometimes referred to as flat 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7 to 1. And that's an E Mixolydian mode. And that's really where I'm deriving all of the notes from this groove. Now, you know, sometimes I'm playing up higher on the neck, and I reached and grabbed some notes that were a little bit lower. And I did a couple of little chromatic things I'll talk about here in just a second. But primarily, the notes that I had as my choice to come up with for this groove were out of this E Mixolydian mode. So here is a basic E Mixolydian scale shape. I'm starting with my second finger on the 3rd string at the 7th fret. Now, if I wanted to kind of extend and play some lower notes, get some other notes that are on my 4th and 3rd string, here's some extensions down. And the way I'm going to play this is I'm actually going to start on E, kind of extend down, play some lower notes, and then go up. Now, the primary chord in E Mixolydian is an E major chord, or an E7. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play an E7 arpeggio. And the reason I'm showing you these kind of building blocks here is so that you can kind of mutate around the groove that I just showed you and kind of extend it, you know, use some other notes out of the E Mixolydian mode and this E7 arpeggio. So a basic E7 arpeggio would be, again, starting on this E here on the 3rd string at the 7th fret. And again, if I wanted to kind of extend and do some lower notes on my 4th and 3rd string, I could add a couple of here. So I already mentioned that this double stop that we were playing up here at the with my 3rd finger on this 14th fret of the 2nd string is kind of the skeleton of an E major chord, and that the double stop that we did when it kind of repeated was kind of the skeleton for a D major chord. And both of these, all 4 of the notes that are involved in these double stops are right out of that E Mixolydian mode. In fact, there's only really one note that is not out of the E Mixolydian mode. And that is when we did this kind of chromatic passage. If you look here, when I played the open second string in this part of the groove, that note is actually part of the E7 arpeggio. You know, I could play it right here on the 5th fret on the 3rd string, but it's easier to kind of play it open as I'm doing this particular run. And then the note with my 1st finger and the note with my 4th finger are actually arpeggio notes as well. And I'm just kind of filling in the rest chromatically. The note that's on the with my 2nd finger is actually in the E Mixolydian mode, and this one would be the only note with my 3rd finger here that's not in that E Mixolydian mode. And we also have the exact same thing that was down an octave here on the 4th string. All right, so have fun with this groove. You know, once you've kind of been able to play what I did, kind of make it your own. You know, play some of the other notes that are out of this scale that I showed you, and the arpeggios, and you know, change around the rhythms. You know, play it in some different styles, and make it your own. Have a good one.